Hello, and welcome to the Kosh. I am your host, Timber Smith, and the Kosh is a podcast that spotlights people who have had an association with Oshkosh or the surrounding Fox Cities area. Kosh listeners, what's going on, y'all? How you doing? I'm checking in again. I appreciate you. If you're sitting here listening right now, you already know. Let me give you the morning check, because I got to tell you what's going on this morning. It is chilly but gorgeous. So, here's what I'm mad about. Why are we in full fall right now? We ain't supposed to be in full fall yet. My feeling is this. Wisconsin is usually notorious for, giving us 5 different summers. You have main summer, and then as it starts to get cool, you get these random days of heat or a little warmth. But we ain't got that yet. And so look, Wisconsin, don't let me down. I need those other 5 to 7 summer days that you're supposed to randomly kick down to me. I'm looking forward to it. It's so chilly. Oh, you know what? Kosh listeners, you know what else? Why did the burrito man disappear at the farmer's market? Now, y'all already know I am in love with the burritos at the farmer's market, and they done disappeared on me. This is second year in a row. Look, burrito people, can you not just stay the full farmer's market season? Because them burritos are delicious, and you're over here breaking Timber's heart. I'm just saying, for real. All right, so you already know what I'm gonna say. I don't know why I get these amazing guests that I am able to pull in. I get the best guests. And I'm going to tell you right now, this episode here, I'm going to tell you right now, is going to be fire. And I just know because me and this guest, we already have Kim. We chop it up here and there, have these great conversations, and there's a vibe. So there's a vibe in the room, and you know what happens when there's a vibe in the room. There's a great episode that's about to happen. It's just the way it is. So here's what I'm going to do. You already know. This week's guest is Neo Medina. Did I pronounce that right?
Yes, sir.
All right. Now Neo, I know I'm going to let you say your real name the way that it is appropriately enunciated. Now, there's this running joke because I slaughter more names on this show than a little bit. I always forget to ask the person, give me that phonetic spelling so I can write it down, but I don't do it. So in this case, though, I know people say your name wrong all the time.
Oh,
so,
yeah.
but we have an agreement that I can call him Neo, and that's where we at.
Yeah. So I'm actually really grateful for this platform to explain my name. It's been something I've been wanting to do for so long because I'm known by so many different names. So my name is Irineo Medina III. And I remember as a kid, my grandfather, who my dad's named after, who I'm ultimately named after, would ask me, how do you say your name? And I would say how they call me in school, which is Irineo. And he'd say, no, your name's Irineo. So I tried that out in 2nd grade, got made fun of all the time. So then I started going by my middle name, which is Isai. And then for my whole life growing up, even through college, I was known by Isai. But with the name Isai came a laundry list of trouble. And so then when I tried to transition to the professional world, I was like, all right, everybody's going to call me Irineo. I don't got to change my Facebook up. I'm trying to hide my past, right? And then 2 years ago, I started East, and my colleagues asked me, how do you say your name? I said, well, which way? And they said the correct way, and ever since I'm like, all right, cool. So at 30 years old, I'm reclaiming my name, Irineo. But my grandfather, my dad, and now me, we all go by Neo, because a lot of folks who aren't, speaking Spanish or even, just don't know how to roll their R's. Neo's easier, it comes out the tongue, it's a little quicker, it's bite size. So Neo Medina, that's how we landed there.
All right.
Yeah.
That's what's up. See, I'm about this Neo because me and Neo had this conversation not that long ago, and I was like, Neo is the brand.
Oh yeah.
Neo's the brand. And you'll understand what I mean when I say that as this conversation carries on. All right. So, Neo, can you please share a little something about yourself and what is your connection to the Kosh or the surrounding Fox Cities area?
Yeah, so I'm an artist and advocate. I my day job is in the realm of advocacy, and I do my best to fuse the two together as much as possible. And then how I'm connected to the Cache, this is the city that formed me. So I left Sheboygan as a knucklehead kid, came out here, and did my college years here, and Oshkosh really shaped me and put me on the trajectory that I am in that introduced me to my mentor, Josh Marquardt, who runs Art City. They used to be downtown. Now they're out off the highway. But yeah, Oshkosh is like humble beginnings.
Yeah, that's what's up. Family?
No family here. Family, like, where's my family at?
No, man. You got a family?
Oh yeah. I got 2 kids. My daughter Coco, my son Jax, my wife Val, and she's carrying our 3rd child coming December 14th. Yeah, super excited for that. A little nervous.
Oh.
I hear 3 is different than 2, so
that's because at that point you are outnumbered.
Yeah.
I do believe I have heard that also. I heard that at the point in which you become outnumbered, you no longer are in control. This is why I decided on 1 child, because then we were always on the up. Yeah.
Exactly.
I'm just being honest. All right. Well, hey, congratulations. December 14th. I got love for that. I know a couple of people with that birthday. Actually, it's a really good birthday if I'm to judge it by the people who share it. And if that's the way that looks out, the other thing that I love about it is it's Sagittarius season. Let me just throw that out there. It is Sagittarius season. As you can tell, that is personal to me, just because I am a Sagittarius. So therefore, yeah, I am a December baby. So I got one piece of advice for you about that. Are any of your other children December babies?
No, June and September.
Okay, so let me break this down to you. The thing about being a September baby is don't cheat them out their birthday. Look, the December kids always get cheated. Parents be trying to roll it together. They be like, all right, I'm going to hold off on this birthday. We're going to get you something really good at Christmas. No, man. Don't do that. Bruh. I'm just saying, look, you got to celebrate our birthdays too. I don't care if my birthday's on Christmas Eve. Then I want a party. I want a birthday party. Me and Jesus can figure it out together. But look, it's my birthday, and I'm just saying, don't cheat the December kid out of his birthday.
Yeah, I feel that. Well, if it's anything like my first 2 kids, so my son and my daughter were both born 3 weeks early. So that's putting us at like Thanksgiving.
Well, I don't know if that's better or worse.
I know. I'm trying to figure that one out myself, because Thanksgiving is a time for food and old fashions, you know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, exactly. And I also heard you mention you're a Titan, right?
Yep. You
got to celebrate that, man.
Yeah,
because this is a place we celebrate the Titans. There's a lot of guests on here who are associated with the university. We got a lot of love for the university, and me also being a Titan myself, I got to show love.
Oh yeah. I mean, the professors there, they kept me on the right track. Shout out to Gail. She's still, teaching there. Trina, Jeff. Yeah, it's been great. Craig. And they still keep in touch, here and there. They might pop up at something I'm doing or try to get me involved. So, shout out to the university for hiring staff that keep in touch with the people after they leave.
What was that? What'd you go to school for, if I can ask?
I got a bachelor's of fine arts. So, my emphasis was 2D. So back when I was at school, I was into printmaking and stuff, but always like had this fascination in the culture of graffiti and street art and whatnot. We spent a week in Detroit, and I was hardly at the conference I was supposed to be at, because that was during the recession. So, I was out painting and seeing all the graffiti and whatnot. But it jumped around. At first it was like art education, trying to be an art teacher, just because without much previous experience in the college realm, I knew that I liked my art teacher, so I was like, sure, why not? But I was actually told I'd never be allowed to work in a school, so then that went out the window. Exactly. And then I went to graphic design, and at that time I was super into like just street culture, and the professor wasn't vibing any of the stuff that I was making because it was like very loud. And you know, I think about like what my classmates were making, and mine was just complete opposite all the time. So a semester into that, I was like, nope, I guess I'm just going to be an artist. And you know, you get the questions like, what are you gonna do with that? How are you gonna make money with that? You know, and that stuff can be defeating. I almost dropped out of art school. But I'm glad I stuck with it, and I have an entrepreneurial spirit. I always have, and I think that's allowed me to kind of carve my own way, make my own path, and also just in this region, there isn't anybody doing what I'm doing, and so it's good to be a one of one rather than a one of 100, one of 1,000.
Facts.
Yeah.
That is one thing about sometimes being in the place where people are like, why are you there doing that?
Mm-hmm.
Well, because ain't no one else here doing that.
Exactly.
And that's exactly why I'm here doing that. And so here's what I've been trying to get to is you're an artist.
Mm-hmm.
And what's your specialty for the Kosh listeners? What do you do?
Yeah, I'm painting walls, man. I think there's so many different layers to just other than that statement, but you know, for the listeners, I paint murals. I love to spray paint, but you know, anything. And then I have a studio in my basement that I wish got used more. But my wife and I also have collaborative body of work. We just had a show at UW Oshkosh last year. We won Best in Show at Art in the Park this summer, which was great. So yeah, we do a little bit of everything, but the main thing I'm doing is painting walls.
That's what's up.
Yeah.
All right. And I've got to experience this a little bit.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
We'll talk about that. It was a fire experience. As someone whose art experience and technique goes about as far as stick figures. Right?
Not the stick figures.
Yeah, man, but they fire stick figures. They're not just like your regular everyday stick figures. And I'm so kidding. They are horrible stick figures. The lines aren't even straight.
Right.
Like I can't
Worm people.
They basically they always look like they break dance. That's what's going on. All right. So you ready to jump into the first segment?
Oh yeah.
All right.
Oh yeah.
First segment is called What in the World is Going On With. This is where you start with the phrase what in the world is going on with, and then you tell us what's on your mind. So what do you got for us?
The Trout Museum of Art. Yeah.
Bruh.
So they're looking at trying to get a new location. It's not so much the Trout Museum of Art, but more so the opposition to where they're trying to go. So they're looking at a space off the river in Appleton. That is called the Ellen Court Peace Park, donated to and in honor of Ellen Court, who, to my knowledge, is a poet from Appleton years ago. And they showed their plans, which has a building off on one sector and retains much of the park's original design, which I should note has not even no ground has been broken there. And so then they go ahead and erect the park on the Trout's dime. You know, Trout is finding and gathering the money. But I think for me, it's like what I don't understand, and maybe perhaps what frustrates me is that I went to this meeting to speak, and there was nobody that looked like us, really. You know, I shout out Israel Del Toro, who's an alderman there, and I might have seen, you know, one or two maybe other folks of color. When I say that, that's what I mean. And so then I'm also reading things where it's like the community largely opposes this. And in my head, I'm thinking about the community that I interact with, and they don't even know. They don't know. And so like, I was talking to my wife, who also is the director of education over at the Trout Museum of Art. And it's just like, how can we like let the community know and make their own informed decision? It's not, for me, it's like, yeah, of course, I'd love to see it on the river, but it's also about just letting folks know. Like, I think about Black and brown communities, and I know that there's some research done by Kyle Armstrong through Imagine Fox Cities this summer about exposure to nature. You know, and I serve kids at Appleton East that they lived in Appleton, never done. Bago's just down the road. There's High Cliff. There's, Boo Bolts. Of course, we got the pass along the river, but they don't interact with nature, and we're not even a big city like that, but they're just city kids, who've been doing the park thing, whatever. But it's like the ripple effect to putting a museum, an art museum, on the river, and I know that my wife is working on, and the Trout specifically works on like things in the DEI realm, right? Like as well as every other organization right now. But you know, we bringing in kids, and then they get the arts experience and the nature experience, and they can take that home. They can learn something, and it also might pique an interest. How do I get involved with this more? And so that's like, for me, that's why it's so important. I'm not understanding the opposition, but I also think when folks are claiming like the community largely opposes this, no, y'all neighborhood opposes this because, you know, you guys got this like view off the bluffs of just this big green space of land. It's like, let's let the entire community know then, and let them decide and reach out to their aldermen. And I think from what I gathered at this meeting was that the aldermen, of course, are going to ride with their constituents. But if their constituents don't know, you know, to my perception, and I could be way off, is that the claim was made, there's a Save Ellencourt Peace Park sign up in every district in Appleton. That just seems like 1 degree of separation away from somebody that lives in that neighborhood. You know what I mean? like cool, like that, awesome. But it doesn't. To me, it just doesn't seem like what the claim is being made. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
And I think about, like, in specific my lens, the kids that I serve, or the kids that, you know, my colleague Shelby, who serves native kids, you know, like those communities, do they even know about this? Do they know that they could have something like this? Do they know that what the Trout's doing for them right now? And so it's like, okay, there's a part of me, I was just telling my wife this morning, there's part of me that's like, yo, I want to try to use my platform to help inform neighborhoods. How can I do that? You know, it's just kicking around up there right now, but I see this claim, like, I keep going back to that, and I think that's the thing that frustrates me. It's like, you can't say the community largely opposes this if they don't know. You can't have, you know, I think there's probably 25, 27 people that spoke. Maybe 5 of those were for the move. And then you got like 23 people that live in that neighborhood do not represent the entirety of Appleton. You know what I mean? And I know that people kind of came at me a little bit about not being a resident of Appleton. I live in Kaukauna, but I'm bringing my talents to Appleton every single day. And that's not to be big-headed or arrogant, right? But I left Oshkosh because, and we'll talk more about this, but the red tape that it was too much work to try to do what I wanted to do in Oshkosh, so I had to leave. And so it's like, I'm coming to Appleton every day. I'm working with y'all kids every day. I'm changing your community every day. That's all I want to do. Like, and so it's like, yeah, I might live down the road, but, you know, other cities down the road is still the same city. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
I don't know. But that's I'm still trying to wrap my head around all that.
What I'm going to say is that I think you're very intuitive. I think you've got a good read on some stuff. And I'm gonna dance this dance carefully.
Yeah, I understand.
I'm gonna dance this dance carefully, but I'm just gonna say, like, I think your perceptions aren't wrong.
Yeah.
And I like what you're talking about. I like what you're talking about, and I do think there needs to be a more informed. There needs to be more questions asked. Needs to be more informed, and there's not a right or wrong necessarily, but I do think sometimes when people have privilege and power, they can make their one seem like 21, and then try to make the 21 be perceived as one.
Yeah.
And so I do think some of that might be happening, And so I just think the conversation's a great conversation. I think it's a great exercise in community engagement. It is truly get involved in your local government and know what's going on. Here's the thing, there's two sides to that coin. You could be missing the opportunity for great things, or you could have things you don't want imposed on you. So either side of it you stand on is good to be engaged and involved and informed.
Yeah. That was my first experience ever with, doing any sort of interactions with local government. And it's kind of something I've been eyeing up from afar for long-term goals. And, I think this will be a good just kind of exercise to figure out how to rally support across community, how to use my platform. And like I said, at the end of the day, it's to let people know what's happening and a potential opportunity and let them make that decision so people aren't speaking for them. And especially myself being an advocate, and this is what I said in that meeting, it's like you look around that room, there's nobody that look like us. So how can you decide for that community? It's like that time for me, from my perspective, that time is over. People make decisions for me, above me, that don't look like me, and then they don't come down to see how that impacts me. No, I can't let that one slide.
So you ain't no more. Huh? No. I feel you on that.
No.
100%. Well, the way I look at it is like, this is the platform. This is your first platform.
Yeah.
And all this has to do is the Kosh just has to reach into some Appleton households now and understand this is, because I will say this, the one thing I will share is like, this is hot in Appleton as far as the topics. Like a lot of people I'm talking to through my work or my engagement with the community right now, like this is front and center. Like there's a lot of eyes on this. There's a lot of emotion about this. Like there's everybody who has feelings about this. And so I'm curious to see how it all shakes out.
Same.
Yeah.
I would hate to see the Trout leave Appleton. I really would.
I just think I'm always for when there is the opportunity for things that cause community engagement, commerce, visitation. You got to really look at those because, that's what you want. You want people to be able to come visit your community, see how amazing it is. Maybe, sometimes that's what brings in new private sector business. Sometimes that's what brings in donors, donations, sponsors. Sometimes that's what brings in the commerce of conventions and all sorts of things. And like when people pick the places, they look at all the things. Yeah. Like, what do you do while we're here? And I just think it's one of those things like, once again, what you don't want is those few who have the ability to make it seem as if they're many, to make the decision of many, because the many may not be fully aware or engaged.
Exactly.
So I like it.
Yeah.
And that's hot. That goes hard, man.
Yeah.
Just because that is close. That's close to the world I'm dancing in right now. I'm just saying. All right. What in the world is going on with the adult Happy Meal? Seriously.
Bruh.
Did y'all hear about this? You hear about this?
Yeah. Funny because one of my students had one up in the room the other day.
Yeah.
Yeah, over at East.
Like,
I'm not prescribing to it. It's a hype.
Yeah.
I think.
Look, it's the ultimate hype. Yeah. Not only that, I just think like, who came up with this and why is it taking off the way it is? But I know why.
Yeah.
Because you know what it is? It's like, it's bringing grown folks back to their childhood, happier times.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like but here's what I read. This morning I was reading an article and the McDonald's workers were saying, please stop ordering these adult Happy Meals because they're killing us. Yeah. There's too many. Yeah. The hype is too big. Yeah. Like, they're like, we can't keep up with the adult Happy Meal. And I was like, what? It made me think. But I was like, okay, I understand it. But I also get it, like that nostalgia effect for adults. Here's what happens. If you were a kid, and you had those parents, the parents that said, we ain't got Happy Meal money. Right. Bruh. Right? You said, Ma, can we go to McDonald's? We ain't got McDonald's money. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Can I get a Happy Meal? We ain't got Happy Meal money. Right? But see, now that you are an adult, and maybe you got a little money. So now you got a Happy Meal money. Yeah. So you know what this is? This is the nostalgia effect they talk about. Where now that I got Happy Meal money, I'm gonna go buy all the Happy Meals I want.
Yeah, I'm gonna get every character,
and I want the toy.
Yeah,
I don't care that I'm 57.
Yeah, man, I know it.
Like McDonald's, y'all wrong for this.
Mm-hmm.
Y'all wrong for this. It's brilliant.
I mean, it's like it's very much in line with things that are just, everything buzzes, and I think there's like this look at all these vintage shops, and shout out to the people doing it, that just repurpose all these clothes and then sell them. It's funny because I got a friend, shout out to Sterling 10-pack throwbacks. He just got his first brick and mortar up in Green Bay, and he had posted something on his story. Goodwill is reselling. Oh, I got to think of the band. Okay, it's just a classic metal band T-shirt, $1,200. Like what? What is like? It is mind blowing,
bro. Did you say the Goodwill?
Goodwill.
If y'all don't know, I clutched my pearls because I was wrong. $1,200. But you know what? I ain't mad at the Goodwill for their hustle, right? I ain't that mad at them for the hustle, because what Goodwill has done, and this is what e-commerce has done. Goodwill now gets things, goes out on the internet like eBay, checks it out, figures out, oh man, I was about to sell this for $2.57, but this is worth this much. We gonna put it out there.
Yeah.
And they got a good. Actually, Goodwill has a good e-commerce site.
Yeah, that's where it was at, and it's just wild to me. Like people's. I'm not one for wearing people's. I did that my whole life. I'm not one for wearing people's worn clothes. You know what I'm saying? Like that. Like even and shout out to Division 1 doing their sneaker thing. Like I don't know why I just get heebie-jeebies. You know what I mean? Like just putting on other people's clothes.
I'm the total opposite, bro.
Oh yeah.
I buy a majority of like my butt. Like I can't do pants because pants hit different.
Yeah.
Pants hit different, and I don't mean that like I wouldn't wear some pre-worn pants. What I mean is like it's a fit thing. Like there's just certain brands I have to buy because those are the ones that fit.
Yeah.
Right? But shirts, man, I buy majority of my shirts at the Goodwill. Yeah, I'm not even kidding. But here's the thing about the Goodwill. Majority of the shirts I buy at the Goodwill are new. They are either new or they are dry cleaned. They're sitting on the rack pressed with the dry clean sticker still sitting on.
Yeah.
Like you'd be surprised what you find.
Yeah.
But I like buying because I like to buy options.
Yeah.
If y'all know me, I have to have shirt colors like I have to have bow ties to match them.
Yeah.
That's just how it go down.
Yeah,
so what it does is it gives me the ability, like for what I would pay for one shirt, I can probably pick up 4 at the Goodwill. So that's what I do.
Yeah, I get that. And weirdly enough, my wife will tell you about this. So it's like I envy the shoe folks because, like I said, Division 1, they be having all the fly shoes, but I just I can't bring myself to do it. Right. And definitely not pants. I ain't playing with no pants either, just because I can't. Like pants are too familiar. Occasionally I'll do like a button up, like you're saying.
Right.
But for whatever reason, I'll drive by on the highway, a hat on the side of the road. I'll drive back, pick it up, throw it in my hat rack, and wash it, and I'll wear the hat.
You wear the hat?
Yeah. I don't know why. I was like, hats? I don't know, because maybe it's like hats are $30. I just found an Adidas hat on the side of the highway this summer, and my wife's like, where'd you get that? And I told her the story, and she's like, are you being serious right now? She's like, you won't even wear like, X, Y, or Z things. And I'm like, oh yeah, I'm for real. Like this hat's probably like $35. Look at it. I just washed it. It's like brand new. Like, yeah.
Neo, I can't with you right now.
Yeah, that is a weird thing. I'll definitely rock people's hats. Washed, of course. Washed.
Yeah, no. But here's my thing. I can't do a hat because a hat shapes to a person's head. And I got to have my brim, formed how I need to. Yeah. So I got to start that from the beginning.
Yeah.
Like it's got to be fresh. So then I can start that curvature of the dome.
Yeah. I found a North Face hat last year. I found 2 Adidas hats this summer. I just be fine. I don't know what it is.
What it is, but hey, I ain't mad at you though. I am not mad at you. I love it. All right, man. To the used hat process. Fantastic. Okay. we're going to jump to the next segment. The next segment is word association. This is where I'm going to give you a word and you tell us what comes to mind. We talk about it a little bit. All right. So the first word is the ultimate unifying word, food.
Yeah, man. And there should only be one answer to this. Always. It's tacos, bro.
Oh,
It's tacos, bro.
I don't know if anyone has ever said anything that I agree with more. Like, that is serious. Like,
Yeah.
I live for tacos.
Oh, yeah, man. Tacos. My wife and I went to, I don't know if it was the first one, but we went to Taco Fest out in Milwaukee. And I ordered the thing where we got like 10 tickets, right? And we went at the start time. The event was semi-unorganized, and to our benefit, because when we got there, like, oh, no, this is VIP entrance only. And you got to wait another hour to get in. And with VIP, you get another extra 5 tickets. And so we were like just sitting there. I'm like, yo, Val, let's just try to get in. So we got in. We ended up with like 30 taco tickets, bro. My wife only probably ate like 5. I ate the rest.
Can you bring a friend?
Right, exactly.
Can I put in on that?
Yeah, tacos are mine. And I don't play like, so we were there, and there's probably like maybe 2 or 3 vendors from Southside Milwaukee. The rest were like, there's Loaded Slate there doing like a chicken bacon ranch taco. Like, I can't play with none of that. It's got to be corn tortillas, cilantro y cebolla, and that's it. And then I play with asada, lengua. Those are my 2 favorites. That's like my go-tos. But I don't do none of the extra.
None of that other extra stuff. Like, I'm with you on that. Like, I like my tacos simplistic, but I also like others variations of the tacos.
Yeah.
Like right now, I'm not gonna lie. One of my favorite tacos out there is the taco, the jerk joint Caribbean taco. That taco over at the jerk joint is fire. Yeah. It is fire. That meat is so tender and smoky, and then they do this mango pico de gallo.
That sounds good.
Oh man, it's sick.
Yeah, there's something to be said for fusion, and even just like like loving tacos so much. I also watched the Netflix special about tacos and how like meat between a bread like thing like is all across different cultures. I worked at Nico's actually right downtown. You got the pita and the Euro meat. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Like it's all over. I just think tacos are the best form.
You ain't lying, man. I'm not gonna lie. Some of them gyros, all they are Greek tacos.
Straight up, bro. Straight up.
Yeah, that's just what's up with it. But you know what? I'm gonna tell you why I love this so much is because I can never even say the word taco without smiling.
Yeah,
because they just make me happy. Mm-hmm. I don't even care. Like Taco Bell's tacos, like there's nothing greater than the Taco 12 pack when you don't know what you want to eat. I'm gonna tell you right now. This is for all those couples out there who have that common fight about what we gonna eat tonight. I don't know, what do you eat? Yeah. Right? You know
Classic.
Hey, every couple, you know what I'm talking about. I'm going to tell you what the answer is. The Taco 12 pack at Taco Bell. Ain't nobody ever mad about it. Get half hard shells, get half soft shells, get a whole lot of sauce, and then boom.
Yeah.
Everybody's happy. Everybody eats the tacos. Nobody's mad. Kids ain't mad. Wife ain't mad. You ain't mad. Mm-hmm. I'm just calling it out for what it is. And you can thank me later for that that marriage counseling that I just gave.
For real. That's half the arguments right there.
For real. All right. Cocktail or beer?
If I'm picking one, dude, it's very seasonal for me. Like right now, it's like old fashioned season. I love fall, old fashions, supper clubs. Like they just hit. And like I was saying earlier, Thanksgiving, old fashions. Shout out to Dave Casper. That's my father-in-law. Makes the best old fashioned Wisconsin. Mm-mm. Yeah. It's like that, man.
All right.
Summertime's a beer time.
All right.
Yeah.
So the old fashions, I like it. Where's your favorite place to get these old fashions?
Ooh, Black Otter.
Black Otter.
Besides Dave Casper's residence over in Hilbert.
Okay.
Yeah.
I gotta meet this. I gotta meet Mr. Dave.
Yeah. But Black Otter for sure. I mean, the supper club is just amazing. It's if you haven't been to Black Otter, you need to go to Black Otter for real. But their old fashions are also fire.
Okay.
Yeah.
Ooh, I forgot to ask, where's the favorite taco spot?
Ooh, that was coming up actually. It's coming up. But Fast Taco I don't know if y'all have those out here.
We don't have them in the Kosh.
Oh yeah,
but Fast Taco, if you want to come here, we ain't mad at you.
You should, for real. They got an empire. They got a fleet. Yeah, they're taking over. They're all the way out on Lake Michigan. So everything between the valley and like Lake Michigan, they got at least one.
All right, that's what's up. I'm adding, Kosh listeners, I've added a new word this week because I think this is going to be a good word from this point forward. So we're testing this word out on Neo first, and we're going to see where we go with this. Concert.
Man, needed. I love concerts. I've been going to concerts since I was younger, and like I love the energy. I went to Summerfest this year, which was great. Seen, who did I see? Why can't I think? Mount Joy. That was awesome. And then I seen Corday with my siblings, which was cool. The Corday. Yeah. He's nice, man. I'm not a fan of the venue so much because you got to stand up on the bleachers, and it's just not that cool. But yeah, no, I love live music. Love. I was just telling my wife I want to get back to Red Rock. We went and seen Nathaniel Rateliff and the Night Sweats there. I don't know, Red Rock in Colorado. It's an amphitheater just like in the mountains. It's freaking amazing. Yeah, it was bucket list stuff for real. But I was telling my wife, I was like, 2 years from now, like let's start getting this conversation going. So 2 years from now, we're out at Red Rock again.
That's what's up.
Yeah.
All right. We got a favorite concert you gone to? Or do you have a bucket list wish concert?
Ooh. It's tough, man. I say my favorite I ever went to probably be J. Cole, because I love J. Cole. I wish I would have caught him an album earlier for 2014, but still, like, he played plenty of his old music, and that was amazing. Like, bucket list though, that like I wish I could see. My wife and I were just talking about this. I would really like to see like Hozier or Vance Joy. Like, I'm a big fan of like acoustic type music, indie music live. It just sounds so good. Like Nathaniel Rateliff, I would see him again in a heartbeat. Just so good. Actually, Alicia Keys. I would see Alicia Keys. I was just listening to Alicia Keys yesterday.
Bruh.
Yeah, she's amazing.
I got to see her.
For real?
Yes. But here's the thing. I got to see her before she was big. So she was one of the opening acts for Maxwell.
Okay. Was it amazing?
Oh, yeah. She killed the game.
Yeah.
She killed the game. She was like, this was her. It was just her and the piano.
Yeah.
And she killed the game. So, I feel you on that one.
You watch Tiny Desk concerts at all?
Yes.
Her Tiny Desk is amazing.
Yes.
Like stuff like that. I really enjoy those types of settings with music.
Yes. The Tiny Desk concert, I'm going to tell you my favorite one. I found those by accident. I actually used to say, shout out to the Cranky Pats family. Cranky Pats, the church. We used to sit down there, and they used to play Tiny Desk while we were having our libations, right? And so my favorite one is Anderson .Paak. If you've never seen the Anderson .Paak Tiny Desk, that is fire.
Yep. So good.
Fire.
So good.
And actually, it made me fall in love with him as an artist.
Oh, yeah. Like, he's one of my favorites. Yep, for sure. Did you like the collab with him and Bruno did?
Oh, yeah.
Like that whole,
That's
smooth.
Smooth, man.
Yeah,
I brought it back to the old school.
Yeah.
I like old school.
Super good.
All right. Streaming.
Oh, right. I mean, if it's up to my daughter, it's been pretty much year round, but right now it's Halloween season, man. I love Halloween. My wife loves Halloween. My daughter loves Halloween. She's been watching Nightmare Before Christmas and Monster House year round. But yeah, we just were, what were we watching last night? We started, it was 2 nights ago, the Eileen Vornos Monster with Charlize Theron. We just finished the Dahmer stuff, which was wild, bro.
I don't know if I can, I haven't figured out if I can watch it yet. Like, everybody just says these crazy things about it, like it's wild, it's dark, it's this, and I'm just like, I don't know if I want that on my soul.
Yeah, it's I don't mind like the dramatized versions of stuff. My wife is really into crime shows, like real life stuff. I can't do that too much. I could watch maybe one. She could watch them all day. But that stuff, because that's real life, you know what I'm saying? That's real life. And I'm like, nah, I'm good. But yeah, I was a fan of Dahmer. It was creepy. There's some hard to watch parts, but I'm sure it probably hits differently for people alive. Like, I guess I was alive when that happened, but I was young. You know what I mean?
Yeah, nah, man. Like that was my age category, and I'm from Milwaukee.
Oh, yeah.
Dahmer makes me feel all some kind of way.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
I'm not trying to,
Yeah. No, yeah, maybe not. Yeah. Yeah. That actor did a phenomenal job. They overdid the Wisconsin accent a little bit, if you're asking me. But you know that classic Bag, Patrick, that type of Wisconsin accent. Yeah, he did that pretty hard. Him and his whole family. But no, it was crazy. Halloween all month is gonna be on at the crib.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And my wife is crazy about like Halloween,
Oh, yeah.
the series.
Oh yeah. The new one.
She loves Michael Myers stuff.
Yeah.
Like the originals. The original and me personally, I like the remake of Halloween, the one that Rob Zombie did a little better than I like the original. That Rob Zombie remake is pretty decent.
Yeah. There's a new one either out or coming out.
Oh yeah,
like the final chapter. So they say.
They always say that.
Yeah.
Like let's be real. When it comes to horror flicks, we already know next year you coming out with a new one.
Yep. Yeah.
There's never a final.
Yeah. Michael Myers can't die.
He can't die. No. So it is what it is.
Yeah.
All right. Shop local.
Oh man, I think the immediate draw is to think about like, what local businesses do I support? And when it comes to local businesses, man, it's always revolves around food, local restaurants, coffee spots, but like giving it a beat and really thinking about it. I think about people like myself and my wife. I think about like entrepreneurs, like local entrepreneurs, hustlers, makers, creators. And it's like, how do we create spaces for them to keep doing what they do so they don't leave? You know what I mean? Like, I think where I'm up in the valley, up in Appleton, I think about it a lot. Like, I'm not leaving. I got kids here, they're in school. Well, Jax is in school. Coco will be in school soon. And it's like, I'm here for a while. So I'm staying, by default. Unless something crazy happens, right? But there's plenty of young folks doing awesome stuff. And there's an easy draw to go to a bigger space, a bigger community that has more to offer. And so it's like, how do we support those folks? Shout out to Jen Stefani. That's my people right there. But she's always, trying to think of ways to involve and engage, especially the creative part of our economy. And I love that, and I'm trying to lend my hand where I can and support and advocate for artists and creators and makers, because I think that's what gives our community life. You know what I mean? Like, that's the thing that makes us desirable.
Yes.
And maybe I'm biased because I am an artist, but like, I prefer a place that is colorful, both in its people and its art and life-giving, rather than the inverse. I remember I was painting a mural, and I'm not going to name the town or whatever that I was painting in, because I got to paint a mural there, but a guy had walked into the venue I was painting at, and he just let him have it. And he's like, "How could you cover up this nice brick?" And I'm just like, "Wow, bro, wow." You just want to look at these bricks? Like, I'm painting a whole wall of the Kettle Moraine, and you'd rather just look at brick.
That's not what he was really saying.
Yeah. I feel that for real.
Yeah.
But it's shop local. Of course, support your like brick and mortars, but there's more. There's other folks up in their space, in their closet, in their basement, in their wherever, creating, making, thinking, dreaming, and doing. And we, as a community, need to figure out ways that we support that.
I want to doubly support your shout out to Jen Stefani.
Oh yeah, that's my people, man.
She's an amazing lady.
Yes,
seriously, she go hard.
Yep. Oh yeah.
So big shout out to Jen. Diversity.
Oh man, you know who I feel like when I'm about to answer this? I feel like Thanos, bro.
Oh, not Thanos,
bro. Inevitable, man. We ain't going nowhere. No, ain't no way. I look at diversity as something that's it's not stopping the movement, our placement here, give it 50, 60 years. Shoot, we might even be as far north as Rylander. You know what I mean? Like, we're unstoppable. We are unstoppable. And I I say that with so much pride, not just for me and like based off of the kids that I'm serving, the things that they're doing. And like, I know as far as I'm concerned, the community that I'm trying to help create, it's to build spaces so that in 10 years, our leadership looks like you and I. You know what I'm saying? Like, I was in that meeting and I had to call it out in that meeting. It's like, here?
But you know what's important? You were in the meeting.
Yeah.
So that's already the change.
Yeah.
And sometimes we got to remember, like it like everything takes time. It took time for it to become the way it is. It will take time for it to change, but it's already started to happen. If you were there in that meeting representing and you knew to be there, that's change to be celebrated.
Hey, yeah, for real though.
I'm just saying, like, we got to keep our eye on the prize sometimes.
And I think, a really crucial part too. And, I think maybe as a young, energetic, hard-headed person, sometimes I can lose sight, but it's a long game, and I try to keep that in mind. It's about chess, and how is every move we're making advancing us, or is it going to hurt us 5 moves later? You know what I'm saying? And it's like, that's a message I try to give to the students I serve and how they move, but it's like a long game, and it's like a lot of folks don't have patience for that long game, because long game means time.
Yes.
And time means that inevitably more people could get hurt, more people could get, marginalized, pushed off.
Yes.
But if we're still making grounds in that long time, it's better for our children and our children's children. And that's like my goal. It was purely self-centered at the beginning. It's like, how can I make this the best place for my kids? And now it's like our kids and our community, and long-term changes, but diversity, bro, we're here to stay. Yes. We're here to stay.
And I'm not going to lie, I can't stop smiling over the Thanos reference, because that's it. I'm with that. Yeah. If you understand, like, Thanos is my favorite of favorites. He's not, to me, Thanos isn't even really a true villain.
Right.
Like you can hate Thanos, but at the end of the day, what he was trying to do was trying to make things better, even though it was twisted.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Like, Thanos went hard.
Yeah.
All right. I loved it. Probably a little too much. All right. Last word. Community.
Oh man, community is my lifeblood. That's, without my community, I'm nothing. And that's, I believe that everything that I'm doing in the public space is for our people. I don't know what made me that way or how I got to this place. And I think it might come from my background in like being quite the opposite, where things I was doing was at the detriment of my people. And it was fulfilling stereotype, and it was, making people's opinions of Latino men true. And now it's like I'm on this thing where I've been trying to do the opposite, and then it's like community. Josh Marquardt, who works at Art City, owner of Art City. I remember when I was working for him, he told me, "You take care of your people are going to take care of you."
Facts.
And like that is something that I like replay to myself often, even in the hard stretches, is like taking care of our people. And sometimes that scope of our people is very narrow, and sometimes it's everybody. Right. And sometimes, like, there's so many different layers, but at the end of the day, it's like, I'm trying to take care of our people. And so community to me is like everything.
Facts.
Yeah.
It's huge.
Yeah.
Okay. Woo. You went hard, man.
Hey,
there's nothing wrong with that.
Bruh.
So, all right, we are on to the next segment. The next segment is called the Kosh Hidden Gems, but we're going to expand that a little bit for you. So with the Kosh Hidden Gems, you share something that you think is a gem, and it might be something everybody knows about, but maybe there's something special about it that no one knows about. But it's, what do you consider? And we'll expand that to the Fox cities for you, or maybe it is the Kosh. What do you have?
Yeah. So honestly, I thought y'all had one, but I guess you don't. So you need one. Fast Taco, you need to get out here. Seriously, Fast Taco is. Oh, man, I can't say enough good things about them. They got trucks. I know they were in Menasha, so I guess I just assumed that they were out here. again, y'all need to get out here.
Look, I'm gonna be honest. I don't know about them, but I'm gonna think that if there was a fast taco, I would know about them. So maybe, unless they're hiding. So, Kosh listeners, I'm putting that out to you. If there is a fast taco out here, please share that with the Kosh so we can share it with the Kosh listeners. And if there is not one, then Fast Taco, you need to tune in and come be about this Oshkosh life.
Yeah, they're amazing, man. And just, it's just like quintessential taco, street taco. They got trucks. And I know that there's a brick and mortar in Kaukauna now, right down the block from the crib, which is amazing. And then my wife and I just slid through one in Manitowoc too. So they're all the way. I think they first started popping up in Manitowoc and Chilton, honestly. And then all of a sudden there's just a fleet of trucks. And I'm like, what is this? What is this goodness? Yeah. Well,
they're tacos, man. Yeah. Look, I'm not going to lie. There's one I drive past every day on my way in and out of work, and I want to stop all the time. But there's always a couple cars there, so I'm like,
They're like that.
Yeah. Yeah. What does the Kosh need?
Yeah, and so this, I'm going to touch on why I left. And I see that they're making their efforts again. Shout out to my guy, Josh. He been doing his mini mural project now. I think this is the second year, but a stronger public art scene, and in support of not local, and I'll get more into that local piece, but local artists. And it's not even trying to throw shade like that, but I know Leaf Larson's got the mural up here by the sundial.
Shout out to Leaf.
Yeah.
Leaf on lock.
Yeah. But, you're bringing other artists from way outside the area and paying them pretty substantial dollars when there's folks right in the backyard. And you don't even need to. I'm not talking about myself. Like, there's plenty of artists. Shout out Julie, Elise, Bo, Linskins, Luke Bogman. Like, there's a bunch right here in Northeast Wisconsin. And, for the amount you're paying one artist to come from, is it Chicago maybe? You could pay 3. 2, whatever, 4, like, right here in your neighborhood, like, feed your people for real. And like, I know that there's some significant red tape barriers when I was here, and that's like I said, that's part of the reason I left. I started trying to do one project, and like instantly I was like, oh no, like this ain't going. And so it's like, I would love to see Oshkosh boom up, out in Appleton. I think I'm on like 15, and Chad Brady's probably got like 10, 15. I know Julie Gillette has a couple, Elise has a couple. It's like up in Appleton, we have Imagine Fox Cities putting spaces up and paying artists, so we can get like 10 different murals over time. We got one artist coming to Appleton East. He's painting outside right now. Kale Neary, and we got Allie Wilbur working on something in Menasha coming up here soon. So it's like, how we putting on other artists. So it's like, I'm trying to be as very, like, I recognize that I paint a lot, you know what I mean? And I've told other artists this, like, I'm super grateful for all that opportunity. I'm like looking forward, and I'm always going to paint every wall as long as I got it in me. But I'm also trying to use my platform to advocate for other artists, because at the end of the day, like, I'm gonna need I need other people to be crushing walls alongside me, because that helps me elevate my game. I know when I painted out in Green Bay, I was right around the corner from Bo Thomas, and I was like, yo, I need to bring the heat, because this boy out here crushing it. It's like, how do we work across communities? Like, there is no reason why Bo and Linskin should just be in Green Bay and not over here with me, or not down here in Oshkosh and all. I would love to see some Oshkosh artists rise. I don't know anybody out here painting walls like that for real, but I would love to see Oshkosh come up in the public art scene in a major way.
Yeah. I think, and here's the thing, I think there's transformative things happening in our community, and maybe, and I'm not speaking from an informed space, but I'm speaking from a space of culture. In other words, the culture of the city is shifting.
Yeah.
How people view things is, I think, different. I think Oshkosh is starting to really take on this identity of a transformative city.
Yeah.
And so what might have been there as red tape before, there might be a crack in the door to open it now.
That's good. And usually like,
and I could be wrong.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, Kosh listeners, please feel free to share, but it's just a feeling I have about where we're headed.
Yeah. And sometimes that's all it takes. You know, it takes, maybe it's this, I know that there's the mural over by Gardenias, right? And pass through. And I'm not sure where the new one's going, but maybe those are the things that allow them to open the door fully. Because I know, like, when I started painting in Appleton, there's a 30% rule. Like, a mural could only cover 30% of the total available wall space because it was under this signage code. And I remember the first time I painted, shout out to Adrienne Palm, she's like, you can only cover this much. And I was like, oh, for real? She's like, you know what? Just cover this whole wall and I'll deal with all the bad stuff. Because there's no way that they're gonna make you take it down. And so I painted the whole entire wall, which was dope. And then you know, shortly after that, I think the arts committee was formed, and then they did away with that rule. And so as long as you're not advertising the business, you can paint the whole wall now. And so obviously I'd be painting whole walls. And so maybe that's what's going to happen here. And I really hope it is. I would love to see this place bubble up, of course. And, you know, whoever out here has a wall for me, I'm be happy to come. I've dreamed of painting here since I was in school. Really, like, that's always been a dream, is to paint here, because the city made me. You know what I mean? The city inspired me, and this is where I had some incredibly low lows, but high highs, and I graduated college, which is, you know, first in family ever to do. And so I would love to come back here and do something cool.
Yeah. And I just think maybe we're getting closer to that space. Maybe the city also is at the place that we recognize that the face of the city has changed. And who the people are that are residents have expanded. And so it needs to look different.
Yeah.
You can't hold on to the old with both hands, because that's old and played.
Yeah.
The Kosh of old is not the Kosh of now. Whether you like it or not. Just is what it is.
Change is necessary, man.
Well, it's not even that, it's inevitable.
Shout out Thanos.
It is Thanos.
For real, bro.
I'm just saying, man. For real, for real. All right. The next segment is the naughty/heroes corner. This is your opportunity to put someone in the naughty or the hero's corner. It doesn't have to be a person. It could be anything. It could be a thing. It could be an organization. It could be news. I don't know. It could be anything you want. So what do you got?
Man, it was the final straw for me. Kanye West, bro. Man, you know about that?
Oh, don't talk about the T-shirts.
Yeah. That's what I like. You know, the person that Kanye West is, I always advocated for his genius. Bruh. I mean, what he did with Adidas is crazy, right? Outside of the music industry, what he did with Adidas, like bringing Adidas out like that. Yeah. You know, when he says something in the fashion world, like, it creates major ripples. Like, you can't deny his genius. And then, like, his music, Homecoming, College Dropout, like, all that, like, you know, I love that. I literally, like, Champion, that's a song I listen to all the time. It's on, like, every mural playlist from every year. But after this last T-shirt thing, it's like, I can't do it, bro, because it's like, he's just not grounded in reality, you know. And I think about, like, the people that he could potentially influence. I think about who he was early on and how he's just morphed into this, like, wild person, just attention seeking. And so that's it for me, man. It hurt. That one sucked. Yeah. That was a tough
so
one.
we putting Kanye in the villain corner.
Yeah. I can't do it anymore. I was listening to music and I had to skip his song, Champion, which is one of my favorite ever songs.
For real.
Yeah.
Bruh. Here's what I'm gonna say about Kanye. Like, Kanye has no chill.
No.
And so just straight up, he has no chill. And so here's my thing with Kanye. Like, he goes all the way in on everything, but everything shouldn't be all the way in.
Yes, exactly.
Right? There's nuance.
And
he should do more things with nuance.
Yeah.
Because everything is not meant to go all the way in on.
Yeah.
Right. And so that I have a problem with. Now, I have a tough time with Kanye because here's my thing. Kanye's on my bucket list concert list.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because I'm not going to lie. There's something that tells me that a Kanye concert is fire.
Oh, yeah, I'm sure.
I'm sure it's fire. Because you know what? Because once again, he's all the way in.
Mm-hmm.
Whatever he's doing, he's all the way in.
Yeah.
I feel like Kanye would be kind of like going to a DMX concert. Like there's no chill.
Yeah.
Right? But where Kanye goes with things, man, like here's where I'm at with Kanye. Kanye has not gone to the point yet where I don't give him somewhat of a pass only because and I think and I'm gonna make one of these things you're not supposed to do, a generalization for black people. I think we all, not us all, but a lot, know that Kanye has never been Kanye since his mama died.
Mm-hmm.
And that just really, I don't know how that affected him, but it definitely affected him. And as a culture who loves and worships our mamas.
Yeah.
We live and die by our mamas.
Mm-hmm.
Right? I think we sometimes look and we just say, man, we already know Kanye ain't been right since his mama. So we just gonna try not to, we try to, you know what we do? We try to just turn away. and you know when you're getting a pass, I'll tell you what a pass sounds like. That's just Kanye being Kanye.
Yeah.
That is exactly what a pass sounds like. Like you that's basically saying we are not condoning what Kanye's doing, but we know Kanye done had it hard since he lost his mama, so that's just Kanye being Kanye.
Yeah.
And that's kind of where I'm at. But I'm not gonna lie. I was real close with you when I saw the picture and him with Candace. And I was just like, bro, no.
Right.
No.
Yes.
And here's my thing. If he would have wore it by himself, I might have took it different.
Yeah, that too.
But Candace hits different.
I know. I'm just like, I don't know. I just think about the influence he could have, and what do you mean the influence he could have? He does have. Yeah, like using your powers for good. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I really try to encourage people to do that, and I think he just has like this incredible like platform. And I agree with you, you know, especially after watching the documentary, you know, after his mom's passed, and then even just thinking about who he was, staying out of the limelight, and then wanting to be with the person who built their entire empire off the limelight. You know, he like, I think it's Charlemagne. You watch The Breakfast Club?
Here and there, parts.
Say he's in the sunken place.
Yeah. Well, if you don't know what we're referring to, you need to go see the movie.
Yeah, Get Out.
Get Out.
Yeah.
Which I'm going to just, once again, I'm going to speak for black men, which I shouldn't. That is the scariest movie I have ever seen in my life. Hands down. Hands down. It still gives me chills. Like I can't, I have a hard time talking about that movie.
Yeah. Shout out to Jordan Peele.
Facts.
Yeah, he's wild.
You know, I'm not even kidding when I say that.
For real.
That movie is like, ooh.
Yeah.
All right. I like it. So Kanye, you in the naughty corner. All right. We are going to take a quick commercial break.
Hi, I'm Dawn Gulke, the Executive Director of Casa of the Fox Cities. Science proves that one consistent adult can change the story of a child. Could that one person be you? Become a court-appointed special advocate. Build a relationship with a child, help identify their needs, and give that child a voice in a process that can otherwise feel lonely. Contact us today. Children who have experienced abuse and neglect can't wait. Learn more about Casa of the Fox Cities at casafc.org or call Leah at 920-257-4733.
Okay, we are back. And you know what is next? I can't wait. This is going to be really good. I'm hoping people are really tuned in and paying attention because, as I talk to people out in the community and across many communities or the Fox cities as a whole, people are always talking about, like, how do you get involved? They ask, how do you get involved? I don't know how to get involved. Or maybe they don't feel comfortable getting involved because that's not the thing to get involved with because it doesn't feel like it represents them. But I do believe that this week's topic of the week is going to cover that.
I love that.
Oh yeah, hey, me too. Bro. That makes me.
Yeah.
Hey, look, I it makes me excited every time we play it. I can't even explain why.
Yeah,
it's just something about that for real.
It feels like the headline. Like I'm a headline report right now.
Yes. All right. So this week's topic of the week. Topic of the week is always chosen by our guest. So Neo, what is this week's topic of the week?
Yo, Paint the City Volume 2.
What does that mean?
Oh, man. So Paint the City, Volume 1 happened last year, or a couple months ago. When I say last year, a couple months ago, August, over at the between Grand Meridian and Jersey Bagel, on the side of Jersey Bagel. And so what it is this crazy multi-layered project that I've been dreaming up since 2016. And like I've kind of talked about, like my heart is in community and engagement and in specific, like, how can I use my platform to uplift marginalized people, right? And so, like, my public work especially usually has portraiture involved, and usually creates dialogue around melanin, right, around skin color. Just thinking about the things that I specifically went through in my life just because I'm brown. Thinking about the things that my students tell me that they go through because they're black, right? And so, like, this Paint the City is like this effort to combat some of those and also open up this space. Like, it's tough to, like, really dial it down. But
oh no, then we gonna ramp it up.
Yeah.
We gonna ramp it up then.
But it's like, so at surface value, I'll say, is what I do is I'm getting recruiting 6 high school age students from Appleton North, East, and West, preferably from a marginalized population of some sort. And what they get out of the project, obviously the biggest thing is we're painting a mural together. The mural we just painted was like 100 and some feet. And then they also get a half a credit through partnership with the Appleton Area School District. So coming out of COVID, that's a huge thing. Is just credit deficiency is enormous. You know what I mean? So how can we get them something? And then they also get $400. I'm hoping to increase that for wages. For instance, the reason I want to increase that is because one of my students lost their jobs for doing Paint the City last year at Walmart, which Walmart pays students pretty good money. And, in the summertime, they could work 30 hours or whatever. And, like,
yeah. Now, when you say they lost their job, are you saying they lost their job because they had to take time away from their job to paint the city, or are you saying they lost their job because of doing it because Walmart didn't?
Because they had to take time away.
Okay.
Yeah. So I recognize that students are giving up part of their schedule to come do this, which they could be making more money. And so I'm always a fan of paying kids what they're worth, and we were in the heat. Granted, it was a nice August, but we were in the heat, there's kids on their feet painting for real. So that's it at surface level, right? Yes, 18 kids, give or take, painting a giant mural, and earning some credit and earning some money, and contributing to our community. But, like, you peel a couple layers off. If you look at the picture of all those kids, the majority of them are black and brown. You know what I mean? And you think about, like, when, people see black and brown children out in the city, what is that unconscious bias telling them that they're up to? Usually it's no good, right? And so now you got these kids doing something amazing for our city, nothing but smiles and pride. And on top of that, what I love about it is I invite people to come in and paint with them. So it's not just about watching, it's interaction, right? And it's like when we're on the wall, that's what I love the most. Is like when we're on the wall, like none of the lines that we draw between each other exist anymore, right? I give people a brush and a paint color. It's like, go paint. Shout out to my student Emily. Like I had her instructing public how to paint.
Sure did, because I think I took some.
Yeah, you know what I mean?
Straight up.
And it's like, you know, she's just this kind of metal kid with all these tattoos and piercings, and she already has this perception of how people view her in her school and in her community. And then you got the community coming in, taking lessons from her. And all of a sudden, she's the person with the power and the influence and in charge in creating this big, beautiful thing that we're making. And so it's like turning the paradigm a little bit, you know, instead of the kids being the ones that are minimized, they're the ones in charge and with power. And like, that's to me what it's about. It's about driving change through the people that matter most. And that's our kids, you know, because my perspective is like, I need to be a bridge. I live my life. I'm old. Maybe not too old, but you know what I mean?
I totally gave you a look like, not yet, man. Not yet.
But it's like, I want these kids to have those opportunities. And I, like, you know, also knowing just personally that art saved my life, and not that art needs to save everybody's life and be this vehicle that they're, I'm an artist instantly, you know, but it's like, it could also, you know, encourage our students to follow their own passions with drive and with poise and with determination, because especially when you're black or brown, the world will beat you up even before you get a chance to even tell them what your dream is. You know what I mean? And so there's all these barriers in the way, and my job, my role is to eliminate as many barriers as possible. And I think with the platform that I've built for myself, I believe that there's a lot of folks that are listening and believing in what I'm doing. And so now it's time to start ratcheting it up. It's time to start doing more and bringing these kids on board. And like, it's like when the news came out, they asked me to speak, and it's like, yeah, I'm happy to speak, but you should be talking to the kids, because this is not even about me. You know what I mean? And like, we had that little after party, and like, that was incredible. Like, we had all of these kids, but not just the kids, like their families were there, and like, they were like the highlight. And some of these kids never, they have gone through 16, 17, 18 years of life never feeling like that in their school or in their community. And all of a sudden they're getting pictures taken of them, and they're getting interviewed, and the news is there, and we're celebrating them. And it's just like a switch, you know what I mean? And like I said, it's not to be naive, like this is the thing that saves everybody's life, but maybe it's a couple kids who realize, like, contrary to what I've been thinking, I'm worth something, and I'm worthwhile, and I'm worthy of love and attention and affection, even though that's not what everybody's willing to give me.
Maybe I'm worthy of my community's respect.
Yes, exactly, man. Exactly. And it's like, there's just like all these different layers to this project that are so incredibly important to our youth, you know, and then also our community, though.
Yeah, I want to there needs to be a big fat shout out to the community.
Yeah.
Just the way they engaged it.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Like, here's what I saw. My take on it is like, they had never seen anything like it. Mm-hmm. So maybe there was an initial apprehension, but once they saw what it was, they came out and they supported on all levels, all sorts of faces, all sorts of people, people that you never thought would be there to paint a square, to just hang out, to listen to watch the kids run around and paint and have fun and eat and just share space. Yeah. That's really what it was. It was this beautiful sharing of space, and it was something unbelievable. Like I've never really seen community like that, because there was really powerful people who came and showed up, and they picked up a brush and they painted. Oh yeah. Right next to the kids, and the kids told them where to paint, and like they engaged, and like there was this thing where everybody, it was one of the best things of humanization I've ever seen, where everybody was human for a while.
Yes.
Like the hierarchy was taken out. Like it was just like, we're painting this beautiful thing for the community, and this is amazing.
Yeah, literally. I mean that cookout too. I think you were at the cookout, right?
I had another engagement. Well, I was at one of the cookouts. I wasn't at the final celebration.
But the middle one.
Yes, I was there.
That was amazing. Like that whole energy in there.
Oh,
we just had a kickback on Friday, and we had like you said, there's like people that don't often come down to interact, and it was like that was amazing. And then you have like I invited some workers from the roof. Like I was like, yo, you guys want to come eat? We got elotes over here, right? You know what I mean? They came through, and it's just like that's what it's about. It's like all these different parts of our community coming together, barriers gone. And I think one thing that I also love about that is like through work with Imagine Fox Cities, you hear this conversation about like having seat at the table and inviting folks in to be part, right? And at the end of the day, though, we're always going to somebody else's spot. And I've spoke and whatever, but it's like always in people's spot. And I said long ago, it's like I want us to build our own table, and you come to us, and that's what that is about. Like I told the kids, it's like we built this space, and look at them come to us. Now this is your guys' stuff. Like you built our own cultural, creative space full of positivity and energy and love.
Yes.
They are going to come to us.
Yes.
You know what I mean? And so like volume 2 now, moving forward, we're already starting to work on it. Hopefully, fingers crossed, we end up and land downtown. And that's where Jen Stefani comes in. She's amazing. And, she definitely has believed in me from, I think, when we met, and she's been a big proponent of me doing things down in that area. And I would love to see how we could partner or collab on making that celebration we had like a downtown type celebration, like to just imagine the downtown stage with the kids at the center, like that type of event.
I think Houdini Plaza would enjoy that quite a bit.
Yeah, just I think about the lens that people see our students through and like what it does for adults to be able to see them. Because adults, and I tell kids this all the time, working in school, adults are stubborn. Adults are right almost all the time. It takes a special adult when dealing with children to recognize that, like, yo, I'm not always right.
Right.
You know what I mean? Because
That's
oftentimes
so true.
we're dismissive of kids because we've lived a longer life or we've been through more or similar things or whatever. And it's like, no, like sometimes the kids are the ones who, need to steer. And so I'm really, really, really excited about Volume 2. We are figuring out ways to fundraise right now. We've debriefed and looking forward to gearing up next year. So as I get closer to that time, of course, you're going to be in the know.
Oh, yeah.
And like I said, hopefully we end up downtown and, it continues to grow and blossom as it should.
Well, you already know how I operate. Not on the front, but
Right.
I'm behind the scenes and in the space.
Yeah.
I'll be helping.
Yeah.
And also to the Kosh listeners, for you out there who have those type of influences, there's a couple of things I'm thinking right now in my mind. Kosh, my plea to you is don't let Appleton have everything. I'm just saying. There's no reason that we can't have this here in the Kosh. The Kosh needs this. When we do get murals, they're beautiful murals. There's more spaces for beautiful murals. And why not engage our kids here in the Kosh with this same type of programming? Now, the one thing that I do know is Neo has ties to this community too.
Yep.
And he would love to break in. So if we can figure out where this red tape is and try to figure out how do we overcome it? How do we get around it? Or at least how do we start the discussion for a discussion around it, period. Yeah. Whatever it is. So we can provide these same type of opportunities here for our students.
Yeah.
And even though, and I want to also share, Neo talks a lot about Black and brown children and students, but those weren't the only students there.
Oh, no.
It was all students.
Yeah, yeah.
And I do mean all students. So don't think this conversation isn't about you and your kids too.
Oh yeah, definitely not. I mean, I think where I tend to lean is towards folks that like might look like me, but really it's about uplifting marginalized or kids that need it. Really,
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, I think that's the biggest thing is like every kid needs something,
Right.
And
in this time, some of that is based around socioeconomics.
mm-hmm.
Some of that is, you know,
Yeah.
kids who don't have.
Yeah, literally. I mean, I was a kid who didn't have, and I think that's where a lot of like I see that. Just working in a high school, it's easy for me to pick out like, oh yeah, okay, this person. Like when I painted a mural at East, and we got 2 kids from my program, so 2 black students. There's also a Venezuelan Mexican kid, and then there's also a white student. A big, just giant mural on the side of East, right? But it's like I recognize that those kids need something, but it's not just about the kids that need something. It's like they take this back. Like I think about Trevor, right? Trevor, I painted on the side of East. Trevor was born a woman, right? And so I painted Trevor on the side, and now Trevor gets to take that back to their community and be like, yo, I belong at East. East, I was home. East was cool. Look at me on this big wall. You know what I'm saying? So it's like these ripple effects. Like it's chess. It's all chess. Everything's a chess move. You know what I mean? But
Facts.
yeah, Oshkosh School District, get at me. Let's talk.
I want more than Oshkosh School District to get at you because it also does take. I would like to see some of the businesses of Oshkosh. That would be awesome. There's, it's an engaged community. I mean, I wouldn't live here if this wasn't so amazing. I wouldn't have a show called The Kosh if I didn't have so much love for The Kosh, right? So, I mean, I'm just saying, let's not stand on the sidelines and watch others do these things. Let's be ahead of the game and not behind the game. Let's be on offense, not on defense. Let's be in front of change and not a subject to change. Right? Okay. Anything else you'd like to say?
Nah, I mean, even, wherever you are, whoever you are listening, next summer, August, probably 2nd, 3rd week, somewhere in that realm, Paint the City Volume 2, come paint.
How did it get at you?
Follow me on social medias, typically Instagram, @_I.M.art_. Otherwise, at Someday Studios, and that's going to be my wife and I's collaborative work. She's also an artist. Shout out to my wife. I love you.
All right. Facts. What I will do is we'll make sure that we will put contact information into the episode notes.
Cool. Yeah.
All right. Awesome. Well, we are at that time of the show where we start winding down. Kosh listeners, thank you so much for giving us your time, spending it with us, listening to the conversation. You already know we are a work in progress. We do not have this all figured out. I make changes. Please reach out to me. Actually, I want to send big fat shouts out to the many people who have reached out to me in recent weeks, who have found the Kosh, who are paying attention to the Kosh now, listening to these episodes, going back and listening to past episodes. Thank you. This is a unique platform. We do it a little bit different here. That's for sure. So please, if you'd like to be a guest, if you'd like to send a shout out, if you'd like to tell us something that would help make the show better, if you got a segment idea, whatever it is, please reach out to us at askthekosh@gmail.com. Once again, that is askthekosh@gmail.com. Once again, I always want to put out there, if you want to send your own personal shout outs, we do have a voicemail. Send your shout out. We'll incorporate it into the show. Or if you just want to send us a vocal message, because I'm not going to lie, I like phone calls better than I like emails. Please reach out to us at 920-385-9298. Once again, that is 920-385-9298. And then you already know what I'm going to say too. There's nothing that screams local, more local than having the Kosh t-shirt or hat. I'm just going to say right now, that's local. That's super local. Even though we may be rolling out of farmers market season, that does not mean you wouldn't want to rock this in other places and occasions. I'm just saying, if you truly are saying you are a representative of the community, come the Kosh out with me. That is just how that does work. And you can reach out to me personally or at askthekash@gmail.com if you have any interest in hats or t-shirts. Okay. So, Neo, you know what's next? I'll tell you what's next. This is my favorite part of the show. Let me just break that down. It is shout out time. All right. What do you got?
I mean, I kind of mentioned it, but first and foremost, got to shout out my wife, Valerie. Without her, there's no me, for real. She sacrificed a lot so that I could be where I'm at. And, she's doing her own amazing work as an artist and as a mover and shaker over at the Trout Museum of Art. But also carrying my third child. I could never do it, you know what I mean? So it's like, yeah, that's my hero for real. Also shout out, of course, can't forget the other only great woman in the world, my mom.
Facts.
Yeah. So it's, the person who carried the torch initially, always shout out to my mom because she raised me and, brought me through life, ups and downs, whatever. She's the one who, forced my hand in going to college and which, brought me out here and changed my entire life. So without my mom, I don't ever end up in this space, in this place, and probably very likely would be very much a statistic. And then shout out to my people that I'm working with every day. Like I said earlier, Jen Stefani, I can't wait to work with you more. She's amazing. Appleton Downtown Inc. She is just, I can't say enough good words about her.
I'm going to have to agree with you.
That's my people for real. Mike Hernandez, I look forward to, he's always supporting me and
Facts.
He's always looking for ways to keep things going. Paint the Sitting Volume 2, he's, right in my corner, and I can't appreciate enough having people with power in my corner. I don't know if I just put myself there, but as just being an artist, I feel like, I'm just an artist. And so it's always great to have people with, for whatever reason, I think of myself as not having the credibility that other people have, And so I love Mike Hernandez. He kept me in my day job. He always speaks words of wisdom, and I appreciate that. Shout out to my STAR team. So that's my day job, working as an advocate and mentor for Black students. We give each other life, bounce ideas. I was just with them all Friday, and so it's always great to have a strong team in your corner. Also, shout out to Kelsey over at Appleton East. She's the one who partners with me on Paint the City, the representative of the district, and largely in charge of like the organization aspect and helping me think about things from that type of lens instead of just the creative lens. And then lastly, Imagine Fox Cities. They gave me a platform and a space to do things with art, and I really truly appreciate that. I think when art, I want to say art was created, but like when back in the day, Michelangelo, Da Vinci, like artists were the people who determined how society was moving. They determined like what we should be thinking and what we should be doing, and through the different platforms and opportunities I've had, that I feel like art is like channeling the roots of what the power that art is. And Imagine Fox Cities gave me a space to do that this year, and then is giving 8 other artists the space to do the same, and I appreciate that.
That's amazing, man. All right. My shout outs this week. Shout out to Madison 365. Right now, Madison 365 is focusing on the most influential Latinx individuals in Wisconsin. I just love whenever they do this. Mad shout out to some of those people who made the list from our region. We've had multiples and several. So big fat shout out to them for that recognition and just for doing that programming overall. Shout out to my fraternity brother Solo T. Bro, yes. You know, that's all I'm going to say. Shout out to Dr. Robinson, another fraternity brother, just a good brother out here doing amazing things and making a difference in so many different ways. Resilience, man, resilience. That's the key. Shout out to Oliver and his team over at the Building for Kids. You want to talk about an amazing team and just amazing leadership, like Oliver over there and what he's doing at the Building for Kids, like it blows me away all the time. There's such a thoughtfulness into the way that they engage and partner, and the team that he creates. Like those are just good people that get it done, and they get it done the right way. So I got mad love for them. Shout out to Dawn over at Casa of the Fox Cities. I got a chance to go to Casablanca, their gathering. It was fire. It was just a really awesome fundraising gala. I'm not one for galas, but I enjoyed myself at this gala. So, every once in a while I will put the suit on and the tie, and do the things. Well, this one made me feel pretty comfortable. So I am honored I was invited, and thank you for having me. No words. Big shout out to Rayon Brown and all the work that you do. You already know, Ray. You the man. Me and Ray got some things to do in this next week coming up at Chopped, partnering here, and me and him are going to be cooking together. That's on some different. We will see how that goes. Well, it's going to go fabulous because the one thing I know is we both got the skills and the ego to make it happen. I'm just saying, for real. Shout out to Myra Pasayas. Hey, Myra, you already know, girl.
We gonna miss you.
We gonna miss you.
Mm-hmm.
We gonna miss you. And last shout out goes to Chris Annis. Chris Annis, thank you, sir, for taking the time to walk with me and balance my soul. There's something for that when people give you that time and they share that wisdom. There's a lot. Not everybody makes time, so I got to say thank you when people do. All right, so Neo, we got one last thing to do.
What's that?
All right, the last thing to do, and you got choices in here. There's choices in this. Okay, so what you have is you can do parting words of wisdom, or that's option A.
Yeah.
Option B is, what would your self today tell your 12-year-old self? Or option C, all of the above.
I'm going to go ahead and do the C because A is intertwined with B.
All right.
What I tell myself now is, or my 12-year-old self is, don't worry about the things that have happened and the things that are yet to come, because you're going to shake out all right. And it's all part of the story, and your story is going to reach people and impact people in ways that you would never believe. And that ties into A, because A is now how I live my life. And I believe it's an ancient Japanese proverb, right? And it says, fall down 7 times, stand up 8. It's all about resilience. And it's like, I didn't have anybody to impart those words about not hanging your head too much with life's hardships. So yeah, that's me.
Fire. Fire, man. All right. What you think?
Hey, man, thank you so much for the platform, bro. I for real. This is a blast.
The Kosh.
Yeah. Shout out Timber.
Hey.
Doing it. Taking care of us.